Okay, so we're back on the baby bullet here, and we're going to make this this little washer piece here, and this is basically this kind of, it's a retainer plate, but it's kind of a thrust plate too. So in the assembly, it kind of goes together like, oops, like that, and bolts to the front of the vise. Now, I should make a little correction here. I really owe Pete Ferguson an apology here. Pete Ferguson is the guy that made this lead screw assembly from the drawings that I put up on the blog site. And in the last video, I had mentioned that the thickness of this little flange was off a little bit, but like a bozo, I should have checked the drawing, because he was actually spot on. I just had 1/8 of an inch on my brain, and so when I measured that and it was 106 or whatever it was, it actually matches the stock Wilton one perfectly. So Pete, accept my apology, please. I'm sorry about that. I should have looked at my drawing before I called you out there. So Pete was nice enough to make this screw and send it into this baby bullet build. Anyway, so we're going to work on this piece here. Now this is a stock Wilton piece, and it's made out of zinc plated steel, and so the vise will be painted, but you know, part of the look of the vise is there's a little contrast here between, and I'll just show you, between the painted surface of the vise and the and this washer, right? So I guess what I'm thinking is, I think I have steel on here somewhere. I guess I don't want to make this out of steel. I'm thinking I'm going to make this out of brass. So I'm changing my plan a little bit. Instead of steel, we're going to make this out of brass, just because it's going to look sweet and cool. So let's cruise over to the lathe, and we'll turn this and bore it, and then we'll go over to the mill and we'll slot it and pop some holes in it. So out of brass. Okay, let's go. All right, so we got a piece of brass chucked up on the lathe here. We're going to use the CCGT insert here, and we'll turn the diameter. We'll face it, turn the diameter, drill a hole, bore the hole, and then part it off. So it's all pretty straightforward stuff. It's straightforward if you're in gear. All right. Go in there. For the face. Get a nice finish on it. We're just going to poke a drill in here pretty quick. I'm not going to bother center drilling it. I'm just going to go right in with this 1/2-inch drill. And when you don't already have a hole and you're not breaking through, you don't generally need to do much to your drill bit to zero that while I'm thinking about it. Let's turn a little bit here and get a diameter. You don't need to dull the drill or put a negative rake on it for brass. We'll see in a sec. Alright, that should be enough. And this isn't it's not the fussy show here, so let's we got 1448. 1448, yeah, okay. 1.48, okay. And just gonna go right to it. So I'm just going right to diameter, which is 1 3/8. I'm not messing around. It's a relatively benign part. turn it back a little farther. Okay. Just a little closer. So when you're drilling into solid material, there's no edge for it to catch on. So that's plenty deep. Check that diameter, make sure I did get it right. All right, 374, sure, that'll work. All right, use a little boring bar here. Grab that on my handy dandy rack. And this is also a CCGT. It's a polished insert, so works good on soft materials and stuff. All right, so we know that hole's about a ½ inch. Come up, gonna scratch the edge of it, come in a little bit, and I'm just gonna turn in, and this is just so I can get a measurement so I know where I am. So I trimmed a little out of there. Once again, this isn't the precision show on this particular part here. Alright, so we're 509. Okay. And I'm just going to change this again. 0.509. Enter. Okay. And then I'll take, let's go in a little ways with that. Make sure it's cutting okay. So that should be about 535 now. All right, sure. Okay, so now I'm just going to go right to size. Which is, watch what you're doing, 563. Oh, you know what? You guys can't even see anything here. Sorry about that. Well, it was pretty boring. Alright. Alright, change the shot around a little bit. Let's get a little chamfer before we forget. A little bit there. And a little bit there. Alright, try not to hit the camera. Taking the tool out. Alright, so let's use I'm going to use the high-speed parting tool here. Alright. And I'm just gonna zero it like this. Alright, so, and then we want 1/8 of an inch. Maybe I ought to look at my drawing, right? Yep, 1/8 of an inch. I'll give it a couple more thou, 2 thou more. That way I can, I can polish the backside a little bit. So, okay, all right, go for it. Get it started nice. All right, I'm gonna come back out for a sec, and I'm just gonna bust this edge just a little bit. So I'm watching this diameter in here as it gets smaller, and when I see it approaching my hole, then I start paying attention and sticking something in there to catch it. Do that, okay. Alright, that's a pretty good finish. there's that, and then the ring just kind of pops off. Of course, I get a good finish on it there. So what I'll just do that on some paper on a flat surface, and then okay. So let's go over and play on the mill. All right, so over here on the mill. So this is the bit we're doing here. So I'm gonna just hold it down with the mini pallet system, since we're gonna mill this and then poke some holes in it. But I'm just gonna use this to kind of say, all right, I need to be clear of that area, and I need to be clear of that area there. Okay, so let's put those on at a little angular angle there. Paw out of the way. Like that. So somebody was saying the other day that I should have flipped that. There was a little part I was drilling the other day, and they said, "Oh God, turn that thing over, and then you don't have to drill your mini pallet plate." And you know, it was funny. I read the comment and I go, "Oh, geez, they're totally right." You know, I could have just flipped that over, then I wouldn't have marked the mini pallet plate, right? But that just showed. I mean, I thought about it and I said, "Geez, you know." That's the whole idea behind this, is I don't worry about these plates, right? I don't make these plates precious. So, you know, you can see there I went around the outside of something there. I don't care. I just fly cut this or knock it down every once in a while. And, you know, I've had these for years, literally. So if you don't dig way the heck into them, right, then, you know, you can have a fresh surface anytime you want. But I think that was Mr. Richard Gentry that mentioned that, and he's totally right, and for pointing that out. And I could have flipped that over, and honestly, if I would have thought about it, I probably would have flipped it over. So all right, and this will be plenty to hold this. Okay, I'm just double checking to make sure that I'm going to clear my drilling action there, which looks fine now. Okay, so I'm going to indicate that bore and get on center there, and then we'll get some drills and some end mills going, or an end mill. Well, 6.5. Yeah, pretty good. You know what? Sometimes you get lucky with this stuff. All right. So we're kind of ready to go now. I got a 1/4-inch end mill in there, and we're gonna go out here, and we're gonna zero it on that plate there. Okay, and what? I don't know. That's about it. Let's go for the gold here, guys. It's about 1600 RPM. So I'm just gonna plow through the middle first. Let's turn it down a little. That's better. All right, it's 1200 RPM. That's sounds a little bit better to me. So I'm just gonna knock a hole, you know, pop through, and then just kind of work out the sides. So when you're doing something like this, you got to be real careful when you come up to the point of tangency like that. Pay attention here. So what I don't want to cross center too much. So I'm actually pretty close on this side here. Come back to center. And then come over a little more. Yeah, you can make a bad job of it if you get that point of tangency wrong. Or you go too far that way and you bump into the wall going the other way. So I'm just going to call that quits right there. And we'll work this side. So this is a situation I like working off a center line and just nibbling away at it. Like so. Alright. Looking at my numbers. I'm sneaking up on it here. Alright, I'm just going to go right to my number now. Alright, that'll do it. A little gentle dust off there. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good from here. See if we can get a look at it. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, and okay, I'll put a drill chuck in and then we'll pop some holes and we're done with this thing. Alright. We get so I'm not going to center drill this because I'm using a stub link drill here, which is nice and stiff, and there's no particular reason to gotta look at my number here. I don't want to mess up, so yeah. That look right? That looks right. Just double checking, you know. Alright. Actually, let's do this. Let's go over here. I'm going to touch that and know that I got to go a little farther than that. Yeah, I zeroed the quill readout. Okay. All right. I'm on 0. I'm on my number. Alright, and then come back to 0. Okay. Half 31. Okay. You see, I start it carefully and I let it center up, and then I put a little pressure on it. Get that out of there. And I put a little itty bitty witty countersink. Okay, and you couldn't see it because it was off camera, but you know, to make them all look the same, I zeroed the quill readout, and I'll go to the same number. You know, it's just kind of it's a visual thing that your countersinks kind of all look the same size. It's another one of these things that the eye kind of picks up on. And you know, looks bad if you don't do a good job of it. Okay. All right. The other side I'll just do by hand. A little deburring, and we're done. All right. I'm going to use this little deburring tool here just to scrape this edge. I hold it at a 45, so it kind of matches the little chamfer that I put in here. Okay. All right. I'll do those. That's another hallmark of you know, the first jobs you get in the shop, a lot of them are deburring jobs, right? Well, they don't let you do much else until you you can at least deburr, right? And some guys never learn, actually, to tell you the truth. So, but good deburring is an important part of your work. Okay, guys. There's that little bit, and I certainly like the look of the brass. I think that's going to look sweet on there, and maybe I'll polish it a little bit more than that when we go to do the final assembly. So thanks for watching, and thanks for following the baby bullet build.